Hi YouTubers. I'm going to be doing a vlog about my past pregnancy, the labor and delivery part of it, and what I'm planning on doing to change what happened and make my experience better um, with my next pregnancy. So, um, I don't want to freak anybody out about what happened with me. So if you are pregnant right now, my video is, my experience was my own. Everyone has their own experiences, and most pregnancies are, deliveries and all that are wonderful. Um, in the end, everything was good with my with my delivery, so it ended up okay. But there were some bumps along the way, and now after lots of research and asking questions and lots of things. I have found out reasons for why these things happen to me and how I can prevent them next time. So I decided to share them with you um, to maybe give you guys a heads up on things, and maybe you guys won't have the same experience that I had. So, first off, I will tell you the day I got sent into the hospital. That morning, I woke up and I felt a little different. It wasn't like oh my gosh, I'm going into labor type of thing. It was just I felt different. Um, Went with my husband and we went up the mountain, which is like a 10-minute drive. We went up the mountain just to go. I think he was picking something up or something. But when we were up there, I was like, we got to get back down. I have a doctor's appointment and I'm feeling kind of funny. So he's like, okay. And we went back down, went to the doctor's appointment. And when I say I'm feeling funny, I just had, I wasn't in pain, wasn't having any kind of contractions, nothing. But I just had a weird feeling. It was like something is different today. Um, so when we got into the doctor's office, he checked me out, and I was 3 centimeters dilated. And he told me to go straight to the hospital. He wanted me to go straight to the hospital, and he said that he would call them and tell them I was coming, and not to stop on the way, not to go get food, not to go home and get my bags, just go straight to the hospital. And he made that very clear. Said it several times. So we did as he said, and we went straight to the hospital. Keep in mind, I have had no contractions, not one contraction at all. I was not feeling any sort of pain, nothing. I had no sign of labor. Just by feeling, no signs of labor, except for the fact that I was already dilated 3 centimeters. So we got to the hospital, and when I got to the hospital, I told them that I was there and why I was there, and they were like, okay, well, he hasn't called yet. How far? They're like, you don't look like you should be here, because most women who are going in to labor and delivery are having contractions and they look like they're in pain and all this other stuff. And I was like walking around and not one contraction. I was totally fine, and they're like, why are you here? Um, so they called the doctor, and he told them, just admit her. And so they did. They admitted me, and they did tell me that they were confused as to why he admitted me when I was only 3 centimeters dilated and not contracting or anything. So, and he never ever did tell me why he admitted me that early. But, so I went in to the room, and In the hospital there, the labor and delivery room is the same room. In some hospitals, they have like the labor and then you're moved to delivery when it's getting close to time to deliver. Well, this is all one room, and I think a lot of them are that way now. They call them labor suites or something. It's like made homey-ish. There's couches and things like that. Anyway, we were in there, and I had no contractions at all, but they hooked me up to the monitors to monitor everything, and I was having no contractions. This was around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. By around 7 o'clock, I was still having no contractions. I had progressed a while. I think I was 4 centimeters dilated, but still no contractions. And they were extremely confused as to why I wasn't screaming my head off, because I guess most women at 4 contractions are having a lot of pain, and I did not have any pain at all. A little bit later, I think it was like a few hours later, around 9, I started having contractions, and they weren't bad at all. They felt like menstrual cramps, a little stronger than menstrual cramps. And so at that point, I think I was at 4.5 centimeters dilated or something. And a few hours later, they came to check me. I think it was, I want to say that around 8 o'clock I was having contractions. Around 9 o'clock I was like a 0.5 centimeter more dilated. So I was I know I stopped dilating around 4 centimeters. I wasn't dilating any farther. Like by 10 o'clock or something, I hadn't dilated anymore. And they wanted it to go faster. So they said that they were going to put me on PIT. It's Pitocin, I think is what it's called, but they call it PIT. It is supposed to speed up your labor. And boy, did it. It didn't really speed up my labor, it just made it hurt more. After they gave me the PIT, like a half hour later, I went from having like dull contractions, constant, continuous contractions that were, I don't even remember how many minutes apart they were, but they were a ways apart. Anyway, went from having like hardly any pain to excruciating pain. It was like bad. And I was, the first part of it wasn't so bad, but when it started, it was like around midnight or so, I was getting really tired and the pain was really a lot stronger. And they asked me if I wanted an epidural. I kept saying no, 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 no. They came in right in the middle of one of my strongest contractions I have had, and the nurse was like, okay, this is your last chance. Do you want an epidural? And she just kept saying it to me right when I was in the middle of contraction. Funny how they come in right in the middle of a contraction and ask you this kind of questions. And I know that some women are just trying to help, but I really, really didn't want a epidural. But they kind of like do stuff when you're in the middle of pain so that you're kind of, if they would have just left me alone, I would have been fine. Sorry. But so I did end up getting an epidural. After that, I was able to relax. I didn't feel anything anymore. And I tried to get some sleep. By then it was well past midnight. And I couldn't sleep very well because I had the monitor and I could hear her heartbeat. And I was just listening to her heartbeat over and over and over again.